What is going on, everyone? Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching, whenever you may be watching. I want to say thank you for tuning in to another video. It's your host, Crypto Glenn. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I appreciate it. Wow, the markets are in complete, total, utter free fall, but I don't know if it's appropriate to be panicking right away. I know a lot of us are looking at our portfolios and they are bleeding. They are bleeding hard. They are bleeding a lot. But in this video, I want to go over a few things to see if in fact it makes sense for us to, really be freaking out here long term. Short term, absolutely, I get it 100%. If you've been following me here on Twitter at Crypto Glenn or on my Telegram channel, you know that for the most part, I've been updating you guys as to what we can pretty much look forward to in the market. And things, for the most part, have been pretty spot on, right? Just, if you don't believe me, go back and look at the previous videos. We talk about this TA stuff all the time, and I try to break it down in the best way that I know how. With that being said, we had entered into, a couple days ago, we had entered into this descending triangle. We had horizontal support here that we had kind of wicked below. And now we've currently fallen through. We took our measured move from the bottom to the top of the first major candle that goes from the bottom to the top. And we brought that over to the downside. The reason why I didn't want to really put one on here on the upside is because at this point, it's clear that the trend is in fact going down. So we want to try and figure out where we could potentially end up. Now, keep in mind, guys, measured moves are never 100%, but they are fairly accurate. They'll get you in the ballpark in terms of what you can expect to see on a dip here. So if we're measuring this, and this move may not be done yet, but for the sake of this video, from where we're at now, let's see, about right here to right there, that's about 5-6%. All right, now granted, we've probably still got another 1.5-2% before this measure move is complete, if it is going to play out. But assuming that you took this trade, you've probably made a decent amount of money. Guys, listen, I tend to err on the side of being a bull. I love everything that this space represents. However, I do have a mission that's to try and stack Satoshis. I know there's a lot of traders out there that would say they're not shorting in the Bitcoin current market because things are too choppy, and I get it. I understand. But I'm going to try and short if I can. Why? Because when I'm using technical analysis and things look like they're breaking to the downside, and we have seen time and time again whenever these descending triangles pop up that you're going to break to the downside, that's, to me, is a decent opportunity to go on with the right level of responsibility, the right game plan to try and short the markets, to try and pull out some additional Satoshis. Granted, keep in mind what I may earn from shorting these markets pales in comparison to what I'm losing overall, but I'm holding spot long term, knowing that that's probably going to come back sometime in the future. I'm just, gosh, from where we were at about a month ago, 64. I mean, this month, May, has just been absolutely terrible. So there's a few things I want to look at here to see if it's time for us to officially be freaking out. I just want to get out of our messy chart here because it's got all the drawings on it. Let's pull up here our EMA chart and just kind of see where we're at here. Look, another descending triangle. Boop, broke to the downside. Let's see if we can see what all the fuss is about. Ideally, when our EMA, and I remember tweeting about this, but for some reason I did not think it was going to play out. Don't ever, if you're a trader, not listen to your EMAs, okay? Because here we have the 20, you guys can see that, or the 50 rather, I'm sorry, crossing over the 200 from above. That is what's known as a death cross, and it was like a freight train running downhill, right? So imagine if you would have got on this short here and just rode this bad boy all the way down, you'd probably be sitting on some tendies right now. But that's not what I want to talk about. I mean, it is, but it's not. So if you ever see this happen, the 50 crossing over the 200 from above, try to take a short position if you can. Like, they call it a death cross on the inverse when the 50 crosses above the 200 from the bottom. They call that a golden cross. They call them those things for a reason. So we're a little shook right now. We want to try and figure out what the market is exactly going to do. Now, I have been in this space for a little bit of time here, a number of years, and I distinctively remember May not always being the best time in the market. So what we're going to do here is we're going to zoom out and we're going to see if my memory serves me correct. And we're going to see what May normally looks like for cryptocurrencies in the past. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so we've got our Mays all the way from 2021 going all the way back to 2017 marked off. Let's see if we can actually spot a trend. So just at a quick glance, what I see here is that pretty much the month of May is really a bit of a toss-up. There's no real significant pattern that I can see here. If anything, the months of May have actually been up, and that's really just looking at this with an honest eye, as we all should be looking at all things with an honest eye in terms of trading. So outside of this, I think we need to be trying to find data that might be able to help us spot a different pattern. And kind of what I'm taking a look at here is it seems that in years where we've closed the month of May over this 200-day exponential moving average, the next month was actually quite bullish. I mean, after all, the lowest part of the next month was still right in the mean or right in the middle from the month before. Let's see if we get the same thing from 2018. So here we actually see that May was very bearish for Bitcoin. We closed beneath the 200-day exponential moving average, and that following month we were still stuck in that negative channel. Going on to 2019, Bitcoin closes above the 200-day exponential moving average, and then June that followed thereafter was actually very, very bullish. Let's head on over to 2020. Last year. Okay, so here we have Bitcoin closing above the 200-day exponential moving average. That June, just towards almost the end of June, was still somewhat bullish. So assuming that we may be able to get a close above this 200-day exponential moving average on Bitcoin at this point, I mean, with it being the 18th here, this is going to require a little bit of a miracle. But if we don't get above this 200-day exponential moving average, there's a good chance that June is going to look significantly bearish as well, possibly even leading into July. Now, we don't have a great sample size to go back and, figure out when we do close below the 200-day exponential moving average about how long it takes us to get back above it. I mean, here we are in 2018, the last time that we closed under the 200 exponential moving average, and we didn't actually get back up above that until around the middle of 2 months from that date. So around July 26, 2018. Actually, it's the end of the month, and then we didn't really spend that much time above the 200-day at all. So what this tells me for Bitcoin is we need to get a close above this 200-day exponential moving average by the end of the month. And, let's try and see if we can get this cleaned up. On the weekly, we're still above it. Let's see if we can go back and try and find some data that substantiates our theory here when we look at the weekly candle. Okay, so unfortunately, the data doesn't actually go that far back. We only pretty much go back until about May of 2019, and you actually haven't had a Bitcoin weekly candle close underneath the 200-day exponential moving average. So, I mean, that's actually quite interesting. So we're probably not going to see it here. Like, so we probably only have about a week and a half left before we actually close for the month. So that's why I think maybe going back and looking at the day is probably going to give us the best sample size of information here. So it's kind of look like to be the trend. Close above the 200-day exponential moving average. Good things will happen if you close below it at the end of the month. There's a strong chance that bad things will happen. And yeah, I mean, we haven't really gotten a close just yet. I mean, we've got 20 or so more hours before this day candle closes. We need to try and see if we can buy back up some of this momentum. Again, just being at the tail end of the month. If in fact we do get our first close beneath the 21 or 200-day exponential moving average, personally, it may be time to start considering some things in terms of how you're going to be swing trading or how you're going to be day trading, short trading, long trading, what your plan is going to be for Bitcoin. Because if you got in before, this hefty run up, say all the way back here, I'll be honest with you guys, it doesn't make any sense to be giving back all those profits. I understand that the market wants to try and get your Bitcoin, but in these instances, we need to be profit maximalist versus Bitcoin or any other coin maximalist. So if it does drop, formulate a plan, figure out what's going to put you and your family, or if it's just you, what's going to put you in the best possible light in terms of trading this, and stick to it. Do not let the emotions get involved. I know it sucks. It hurts to see our portfolios bleeding, but this is the time where we really have to develop our plans if they haven't already been developed, and actually stick to them. So as it stands right now, we really won't know what Bitcoin is going to do until the end of the month. All eyes are staying towards the 200-day exponential moving average, because that is going to give us our greatest indicator of what could potentially happen for Bitcoin at the end of May, moving forward into the short-term future. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any plans, if you don't have any plans, if this is the first time you've heard of this, let me know what you think. If you like the video, slap that like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I try to put out premium content for you all to kind of help you make you better traders, kind of give you a little bit of understanding of what it is that I'm thinking in these turbulent times. So I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.